Hey, Shalom, Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to you brothers on the highways and byways, doing the work sincerely and faithfully and continually fighting that good fight of faith, Lord willing. We have found that number to be delivered. All right. So this lesson is going to be inspired by Elder Manal Zogbar's lesson he did concerning this woman who made a video talking about that when the Lord speaks to her, she has to then deliver the message, and went on to say that the Hebrew Israelites who are on these street corners aren't really doing the Bible justice because we're not teaching or preaching about the grafting in of the Gentiles. All right. So with that being said, I'm probably going to entitle this, "Let's look at the Gentiles you're trying to save." Let's look at the Gentiles you are trying to save. All right. So I'm going to start with Micah 2:2. All right. And it's all gonna come together. It's all gonna tie in. Micah 2:2 says, "And they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage." Now, I'm gonna say this: the worst thing you can do to a man is deprive him or blind him from his heritage of knowing who he is. You can beat a man all day, he gonna heal. All right. You can whip him, bang him up bad, he gonna heal. But what can't be healed is the depriving of a man of his heritage. All right. To the point where he has no idea who he is. All right. Now, I want to hold that thought and continue on in the lesson. I'm going to hold that thought. All right. So let's turn the page over here. All right. So what you're looking at is the 12 tribes of Israel chart that we commonly use on the highways and byways. Right. So we can all agree that if these people on this sign right here are the Lord's chosen people, that means every other nation of people are considered to be the Gentiles. Okay? That's fair. That's got to be a fair assessment, right? For all you people out there who are identifying the children of Israel being, I'll use this word, I'll speak, generally. For all you people who say the children of Israel are God's chosen people, that must mean every other nation is a Gentile, right? So let's go back. All right, let's go back and continue on. So that's Micah 2:2. Let's jump over to Psalms 83. Psalms 83, and I'm going to start at 3. It says, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones." All right. So now we have to find out who are the they that have taken this crafty counsel. Let's find out who they are. Let's find out who they are. All right. Okay. Now here we are. Now, the heading of this says the captivities of the nation of Israel. All right. So in order for somebody to take crafty counsel, that means what? They all have to be on the same page. All right. Now, these are the Gentiles. These would be known as the Gentiles according to the way the world teaches this thing. All right. So you got the children of Israel. And any and everybody else, other nation outside of the children of Israel are the Gentiles, right? These are the ones that have taken that crafty counsel right up until present day. So let's take a trip down history lane, if you will, concerning these Gentiles that you're trying to save. You got to make this make sense, man. You see, everybody out there is opening the door of salvation to these other nations, but these other nations haven't paid for the wrong that they have done. So let's start with the first one, Egypt. It says the Sudanese, Watusis, and Zulus, 400 years from 1846 to 1446 BC, Genesis 15 and 13. Okay? That's the captivity that we suffered in Egypt. Okay? That's the captivity. And keep in mind, this is a Gentile nation, right? This is the start of the people you want to save. All right? Let's go down to the second one. Cushites of Mesopotamia, so-called Ethiopians, 8 years. Read Judges 3 through 10. Right? Another Gentile nation that you people want to save. Let's keep going. Moab, the so-called Chinese, 18 years. Read Judges 3:12 through 14. All right? And what is these? The captivities that we serve. All right? Now, let's keep rolling. The Canaanites, the so-called South Africans, 20 years. Read Judges 4:2 through 3. The Midianites, so-called Arabs, 7 years. Read Judges 6 through 1. 6 and 1. The Ammonites, so-called Japanese, 18 years. Read Judges 10, 6, and 8, and 11, and 12. All right? Philistines, so-called Africans, Watusi and Zulu, 40 years. Read Judges 13 and 1. Assyrians, so-called Kurbs, 722 to 536 BC. 2 Kings 15 and 29, 17, 5 through 6, 18, 9 through 12. All right? The Babylonians, so-called Ethiopians, 70 years, 606 to 536. Read Jeremiah 25, 9 through 14, Jeremiah chapter 39, Psalms chapter 137, 856 BC. The Persians and the Medes. The Persians and East Indians, the Medes, the Japhetic, right? Except the Hawaiians, the Filipinos, Indonesians, Australians, Aborigines, etc. 203 years to 536 to 333 BC. All right? The Greeks, the Edomites, so-called white people, 267 years, 333 to 66 BC. Right? Romans, Edomites, so-called white people, 267 years, 66 BC to 193 AD. Daniel chapter 7, Matthew chapter 2, 1 through 4, Luke chapter 3 and 1. From 193 AD until approximately 1453 AD. Black Hebrew Israelites ruled all of Europe. Read Revelation 20, 1 through 3. This era has been called by many different names. The Dark Ages, the Middle Ages, the Byzantine meaning backwards, and the Medieval Ages. All right? Africans and Arabs, 1500 to 1600 AD. Read Joel 3, 1 through 8. King Dumi and Amoralities of all Malian Empire and Timbuktu. Okay? And last but not least, America. Edomites, so-called white people, 1600 AD to present. All right? So this is the history of all these Gentiles that you want to save, that you want the Lord to come down and just, get them a prime seat on a chariot so they can be grafted in. You got to make this make sense, man. All right? these nations have done nothing but put hardcore hell bondage on us. And even to this very present day. So my question to you people is, when have they paid for their wrongs? For the atrocities against the nation of Israel? Okay, going back to Psalms 83. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And what do we say at the outset of this? The worst thing you can do to a man is strip him of his heritage. What do you think all these nations had in common? They all conspired together. And now all of a sudden, they're worthy to receive salvation, calling upon the name of the Lord whom they don't know. This is what you people, this is why a lot of you people just need to close up the Bible and put it down. Just because you see the word Gentile, all of a sudden, that means everybody can make it. Well, these Gentiles that we're looking at, these heathens and actual Gentiles, they need to face punishment, man. They need to face judgment before anything else. And at the end of judgment, they're still not going to be sitting in the kingdom on thrones. Servants, slaves, that's what they're going to be. And this is what you people can't get through your thick heads, man. You ready to put your life on the line so these heathens can make it. Well, let's continue on, right? Colossians 3:25, it says, but he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he have done. So again, the question still stands. When have these nations received for the wrong that they have done to the children of Israel? All right, that last captivity, which is America, which is ruled by the Edomites, it says what? From 1600 AD to present, they haven't received for the wrong that they have done. And this is what that upcoming future judgment is all about. When you understand, when the Lord's talking about sending nuclear missiles to Babylon the Great, that's the judgment. Okay? And these nations, they're going to get right. They're going to get that ass handed to them, but they're going to get right. So again, these Gentiles, according to you people, you know, are worthy to be ushered into the kingdom, are worthy to be grafted in. The Lord still hasn't made due on his promise concerning the enemies of the children of Israel and what he was going to do to them. These are the enemies right here. Job 27:14. It says, matter of fact, let me open that up and start at 13. It says, this is the portion of a wicked man with Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and the heritage of oppressors. Okay? Have not we been oppressed by all these nations? So therefore, they're all going to get a taste of this. It says, which I'll start at 13. This is the portion of a wicked man with Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. Okay? If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. All right? if his children be multiplied, it is for the sword. All these nations who have oppressed us, all right? These are all those nations that have oppressed us. So therefore, there is judgment coming. There is judgment. It says what? If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword. They've all reaped the benefits throughout the years for what has been done to the children of Israel. And let me say this too. And let me say this, which is very important. Okay? Here you are talking about saving these nations, and whoever you are, saving these nations, right? Well, let me ask you this question. Did these nations tell us who we were? They stripped us of our heritage. They stripped us of everything that was known to us, right? Including the name of the Lord, right? And now, here you people are talking about they deserve salvation. Well, wait a minute. They didn't tell us. They didn't all of a sudden get another crafty counsel and say, hey, by the way, you guys are the true Israelites. This is still a secret or a mystery unto this day. You know? It was through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai that we found out we were those children. We were the children of Israel. Not through our enemies, not through the Gentiles, as you people call them. They didn't tell us who we were. They damn sure stripped of us what we were and who we were. They stripped us. But nowhere in history have they come together to sit there and say, oh, you know, whoo, we did you wrong. You know, we took your heritage from you, but we want to tell you, you are those people. Ain't nobody doing that. Absolutely not. So where is the opening for these nations to receive salvation when they haven't received judgment yet? You gotta make it make sense, man. You gotta make it make sense. All right? So again, if his children be multiplied, it is for the sword. So all these nations that we're seeing here, who we are walking around, those descendants to this very day. When we're out there in the world, all these descendants of these people, we walk by them. And you people are talking about, yeah, the salvation is opened up to them. The Gentiles can be grafted in. Who the hell wants to graft in a murderer? The Lord ain't trying to hear this shit. Excuse my language. The Lord ain't trying to graft these people in. There's hell to pay. Let me read it again. 13. This is the portion of a wicked man with Yahweh Shem Yahushai and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. So there's no escaping, all right? There's no grafting. There's no reconciliation. What did these nations do, right? Or I should say it this way. When did these nations repent? When did they repent? Nobody. None of them. None of them said, you know what, we repent, we forgive us for what we did to these people. Not a damn one of them. But here you people are saying that since the Lord died on the cross, he opened up the door to all these people. When even up until when the Lord was crucified, we still was in captivity. They still kept us in captivity. To this very present day. You gotta make it make sense, man. Psalms 2:1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing. Okay? So this thing is not meant for everybody. Salvation isn't meant for everybody. Salvation is for the children of Israel. Now you can understand that when it talks about being grafted in, it's talking about those Israelites who were scattered abroad. Okay? Whom the heathen has destroyed. Whom the heathen has went to the extent of stripping heritage. Stripping heritage, stripping lands. You know? And now, it's said to be that, salvation is for everybody. Absolutely not. So that being said, these are the nations that you're trying to save. This is the history of the nations that you're trying to save. All right? Starting with the captivities that they had the children of Israel in. They've never come forth and told the children of Israel, so-called Negro, West Indian, Puerto Ricans, and Latin tribes, they have never come forth and said, yeah, you are those people. We apologize. Forgive us for all the wrong that we've done. Nobody has said that. And good. So the Lord can keep his wrath upon these people. All right. So with that, Lord willing, is edifying. I'm going to end it on that. I'm going to say shalom.